Hello, Meoni here, and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV. This time we're looking at all the rewards in the game for the Fall Guys event crossover. This takes place from the 31st of October, which is yesterday at the time of recording, from the launch of patch 6.51, and this event will last until Sunday, December the 31st at 6:59 AM PST. To actually take part in this, you need to have a level 15 character that has access to the gold saucer. You can actually find a quest in Uldar called It Could Happen to You to unlock this, if you have a level 15 character ready to do that. If you've already done that, simply go to the gold saucer and you'll find inside the gold saucer X 4.8, Y 6.1 in the entrance square, the Just Crowning Around quest that's available to any class or job level 15 or above from the NPC Luena. You must, of course, obviously have unlocked the gold saucer to be able to get here and obviously to pick this up. Once you've done that, it will take you to a new area. This area is full of people that are going to be doing the same thing as you. On the left side, pretty much at the front, we have ourselves the registrar, as well as a person who will tell you how the event works, how you gain points, etc. There's a new currency called Mandeville Gold Saucer Fame, or MGF. This is the main currency to exchange for items. On the right side of the area, you will find a prize claim vendor. There is actually two NPCs. One of them is currently disabled and not accessible, which makes me think they're going to add more rewards in the future, maybe in future seasons, as this event is planned to come back after its end time in the future. So hopefully that's a thing. That would be cool. So how do you earn MGF? Essentially what you do is you go to the registrar and you queue up via this NPC for the Fall Guys itself to the Blunderville, I think it's called. I keep calling it the Blunder Dome, which I think is a much better name, but there we go, Blunderville. Within this, you have 3 rounds to try and get through. Each one of them basically involves something like a obstacle course for the first one, a minigame for the second, and then another minigame or obstacle course for the third. If you get through all 3 rounds, you get to challenge Mandeville Mountain, and at which point you need to go up there, be the first up there and jump and grab the crown. Your character doesn't actually have to grab the crown or anything like that. Simply, you have to be the first to the top of the mountain, and then these jump pads will jump for you, and then just collision detection with the crown will signify that you have won. Of course, if you don't win, which is more likely than anything for most of these runs, you get MGP as well as MGF, which is calculated depending on how many rounds you got through and survived and qualified through, and whether or not you actually won any of those rounds as well. Coming in first in any of these rounds will actually give you a gold status that gives you more MGP and more MGF depending. So it's all calculated. If you were to do a perfect run where you gold, and then finished off the Mandeville Mountain perfectly, then I'm not sure how much MGP and MGF that would be. I would imagine it'd be over 500 MGF for that run alone. On average, you get about 400 and something calculated here and there, depending on the difficulty. And also, there's another factor to take in: how many players are there. It's got dynamic queuing, so when you queue in, either solo or in a light party or with a group of friends, up to 8 people, then you'll be put with random other people. If you want to, however, say you're a content creator or streamer, you can make a pre-made, create a full alliance raid of 24 players, and you can queue up. However, if you don't have a full alliance raid, it will not work, so bear that in mind. And depending on how many players are there is how much MGF and MGP is also calculated as well. All this is taken into consideration. There are some occasions where the server had a little bit of a whoopsie yesterday, and some people managed to somehow solo queue into their own solo instance, to which point the game obviously penalized them significantly in terms of MGF and MGP rewards, but still counted it as a win when they were to grab the crown at the end. So it is possible to get situations like that, but it's more likely you'll get a full party. I think in the 9 hours that we streamed and the 6 or so that we actually took part in the Fall Guys event, we didn't really have that occasion. More than about 20, 21 I think was the lowest we saw out of the 24 spaces. It just depends on what the server queues you with, and there's lots of queues happening at the same time. As you would imagine, lots of people are doing this at the moment. It is the perfect time. Bearing all of that in mind and how to win and what points you get and how many points you get, Let's go and have a look at all of these rewards. The first major rewards then is obviously the Glamour Set. We've got ourselves a Gentle Bean Parka for 410 MGF, the Gentle Bean Bottoms for 410, the Gentle Bean Shoes for 410, and the Gentle Bean Knit Cap for 410. There are also 2 crowns, a matte and a glossy crown, both of which are helm only and are actually usable by Hrothgar and Vieira, as you can see here, which is varying degrees of success, I think you'll agree, and both are fully dyeable. Those will also cost you 410 fame each. This full 4-piece of left side gear is all fully dyeable. We'll look at the dyes in a moment. It also comes with spell effects on the rear of the parka, and also the trainers have RGB, which is hilarious. They're actually not bad. They dye quite nicely, as you'll see in a moment. But yeah, I quite like the details on this. The knit cap has the wobble physics that carries on from other hats, such as the Gaelic Cap hat, as well as the wobbly Dragon Quest jelly hat, if you remember the slime hat. Similar physics to that, so it's quite fun. There's also 2 crowns as well. The matte winner's crown will cost you 410, and the glossy winner's crown will cost you 410 as well. And that both of those items are dyeable as well. Let's have a brief look at the dyes then of this outfit. Just going through the basic dyes here. Looking pretty good, in a good range. I would say that they dye quite darkly. Metallic dyes seem to be popular with a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people dye the parka, specifically metallic dyes. Less people seem to be going for the shoes. That's probably one of the least favorite I've seen of people. Personally, I don't mind them. The real test will be in Dawn Trail and obviously 7.x. If they backdate the dye channels for existing gear like this one, it would make sense since it's event gear. I would like to see if they allow us to change the dyes on the other section. So a lot of this is, sort of chosen based on the purple dye that you can't replace on there. The embroidery, perhaps even with the crown, or even on the shoes with that light blue. Obviously, you can't get rid of that. So it would be nice to see in the future what different setups we can have if indeed they do backdate the event items, and indeed when they decide to prioritize this. Obviously, it's understandable. There's a lot of gear in the game, so this might take some time to backdate. All in all, I really do like the outfit. Of course, it would be nice if we could change the color of the glowy symbol on the back. Yeah, all in all, not too bad, but looking better, I think, in brighter colors to offset the dark nature of how dark the palette absorbs all of that light from each dye. And then there's the dyes of the crowns as well, which obviously are quite different depending on if they're on a glossy texture or a matte texture, but are strong, flat, basic color dye palettes nonetheless. I'm looking forward to the future when we have the dual dye palette system. I want to see if we can dye the other section of that parka and bottoms and knit cap as well. Anyway, looking at other items, this is the mount then. Alright, here we are in the Azim Steppe, the lovely area to preview items, my favorite zone in the game. Let's first then look at the mount from the Fall Guys event then. A lot of people are going to be very excited with this as it very loudly bleeps its way into existence. It is, of course, an inflatable rhino. Again, much like if you've played Fall Guys before, the main game, you will be familiar with this. It is an inflatable rhino that's designed to push people off. Sadly, there's no rear entrance to this, much like out of a certain film, but it does have trundle noises, like a tank or something. It's absolutely bonkers, isn't it? If you would have told me 10 years ago that one day we'd get an inflatable rhino tank, I would have said, "What are you smoking?" at that point. I think that would be my exact words, because it's certainly something a little bit unorthodox. But it is a great crossover event item. I love the steam that comes out when it both goes up and comes back down into terrestrial or flight form, coming out of its nostrils there. Like it's awesome. And yeah, it just looks really good, doesn't it? There's not really too much to say about this. It is a single person mount. It is not 2-person. If you're interested to know what music this comes with, I mean, it should come as no surprise that it is the Fall Guys music. The same music that we've had in the background of this video all along. So, let's read this. It says, summon Thorf, your Riez, a vibrantly hued mechanical rhinoceros that can't say no to terrorizing the beans of Blunderville. Created to serve as an obstacle in Blunderville, this mechanical rhinoceros, I keep saying that wrong, has employed its ample weight and power to thwart the progress of many a hapless bean. Fortunately for you, however, this example was programmed to shuttle you around rather than send you flying. The hidden text says, there they go again, charging off before we have a chance to discuss our plan of action. A quote there of Shigure. I wonder if when they're doing these, when they pick what quote they put on a hidden text, if they just type in a keyword such as charge and then go with that. It definitely seems that way. But yeah, there's not really much else to talk about. It is a flying rhinoceros tank and looks fantastic, or at least it does in my opinion. Like I say, everyone's tastes are different. Mine are probably terrible, and I'm perfectly fine with this being the case. But yeah, I just think it's great to have a mount from the event. They could have quite easily not included one. Very happy to have this one. Right, whilst we're here then, let's look at 2 minions as well, as it's decided to rain here, but it's fine, it's still daytime. First of which was the pink bean. It says summon your pink bean minion. 3, 2, 1, go! Little is known about these mysterious life forms that suddenly appeared in the gold saucer, apart from the fact that they love to race. And this specimen has apparently decided that it wants to race you without end. Rumor has it that underneath its rotund exterior is a skeleton that looks like a nightmarish amalgam of man and bird. But there is no ready way to determine the truth. Obviously a reference to the scumbag pigeon. If you've seen those mascot outfits in Fall Guys, you know all about the pigeon. Let me guess. You've traded for magical beans, the parts we need. A quote there of Jesse. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just using a keyword of beans there to choose the quote. Then we've also got the Penguin. It says, summon your Penguin minion. You chased after it, now it chases after you. Suddenly appearing in the gold saucer alongside the beans, these winsome little automata love nothing more than being in the thick of a race and chased around like a prize. Rumor has it they were created by a friend of the beans who was inspired by a penguin they had witnessed somewhere out there. A quote here says, my what charming little toys, a quote there of Carney Senna, because of course it is a mechanical toy. So let's look at these then. Summoned. First of all, it's quite big, isn't it? He's quite the chonker. These are not small minions by any shape of the imagination. Let's get rid of Meoni for a second, but there's a Meoni for scale. Quite a big boy. Knee height, at the very least. But yeah, it looks, as you would imagine, big pink bean. If you've played Fall Guys before, you pretty much start off with no skins unlocked or anything like that, and that's basically what your character's going to look like. Very, very cool stuff. In terms of interactions then, and he's running around like that as well, he's actually responsive to you. He's not, he's independent. He's not got his own behaviors. He will feed from your hand with a hand over emote, and I believe it is a pet emote that makes him do the adorable wave emote. If you're familiar with Fall Guys, then you've probably seen this before. He's like, hello, let's go play some games. Hello. Adorable. So that's that minion. And this is what he looks like when he runs around haplessly. I don't believe there's a beckon command, but we could definitely try it. No. Okay. And then the other minion, which is my other entry, my 482nd entry so far, is the Penguin. And this is what he looks like. There's a Meoni for scale. So this one much smaller. This is ankle height. So let's get rid of Meoni. And there's the Penguin, looking ready to run. And as you can see there with his legs, as we change the point where he's looking, they rotate round on a spindle, much like the actual toy, right? Because it's a toy that you run after in some of the minigames. It's just hilariously funny, isn't it? Like those big beady eyes chilling out on each side of his head. This is also, capable of doing emotes, idle animations. But of course, for this one, he hasn't got the same behavioral pattern, so you will need to put a pet collection title on. For example, I believe we should put the Mammoteer pet collection title on. Any of these work, Minion Collector or Minion Master, anything like that. And then we can get him to feed from our hand. with a hand over it, although he just kind of stands there because he's got no animations. And I believe it is a poke emote. It gets him to run around in circles. Whee! He's having a great time. What a fantastic interaction. Whee! It's like a road runner or something. Absolutely fantastic. I'm very happy with these two minions and the mount. They're both really cool. Well, all three are really, really cool rewards. Anyway, let us move on. There are many things to look at. Just whilst we're on the subject of things, before we move on, actually, there are titles. Now, I don't have the title from this. I say titles, but there's one title and it changes depending on, obviously, you know, the gender of your character. If you're a male character, you will actually get the King Bean title. And if you're a female character, you'll get the Queen Bean title for placing first in the entire Blunderville. So a crown, basically, winning all 3 rounds. So getting the crown 100 times. As you can see, I've managed to achieve all in a total of 2 wins so far on my character. It's going to take me a very long time to get this. But yeah, Queen Bean or King Bean, that might be the best title ever, depending if you like beans or not, or queens, I guess. Anyway, moving on. Next we have an emote, which is the Ballroom Etiquette Embracing Blunders. This is a really entertaining one. This is an emote that actually is used in Fall Guys itself. It's the Victory Reveal /Victory Reveal. It says an illustrated manual detailing how to thoroughly bask in triumph and demand the praise of one's social rivals. Used to learn the Victory Reveal emote. I like this one. It's really cool. It's not persistent, sadly. It is a general tab, so you press it once and then it fades. Really good for actually taking G-pose pictures. It's got nice phases in it where there's a bit where your hands are in the air and also when they're lowered. Very cool. I like that one a lot. That will cost you 410 as well, much like the mount. There's also the Everybody Falls, which is the Fall Guys theme Orchestrion roll. That will cost you 220. There's no point in me playing this for you because it's playing in the background of this video. Then we've got 3 Framers kits. We've got the Blunderful Framers kit, the Blunderous Framers kit, and the Blundervild, which all very cool. And of course you can mix and match the parts from each of those if you wish to for your perfect portrait. Then we've got some other items on this list that are non-specific. So we've got the standard rationing manuals. Basically, this is for your cooking, buffing stuff, the 15-minute buff thing. We've also got some dyes on here, as well as gold saucer aetheryte tickets. This stuff costs 200 for the rationing manual. I forgot to say that the framers kits are 200 each as well. All of the dyes, so for example, your top tier dyes, gunmetal black, pearl white, and metallic brass will cost you 750. And then we've got ruby red, cherry pink, canary yellow, vanilla yellow, dragoon blue, and turquoise blue costing 150 each as well. So another way of using your fame if you've got nothing else to spend it on. With the housing items then, all at 220 fame each. We've got the crown here, which is a giant crown that looks really cool. It's got a glow effect with that, so if you wanted to make a jumping puzzle and actually have a crown in it, you could totally do that. We've got the Blunderville flag, which is a beautiful flag with a Moogle on it, again for 220. Then we got the Blunderville donut bumpers. So these usually in the actual Fall Guys thing bump you around when you walk into them. They don't have a bump action, as you would probably imagine. That would be really awkward if they had that, and obviously it would be extra coding. Those are 220. Then we got the padded walls, which are awesome. Again, you can use this to make your own jumping puzzle area. And then we've got the Blunderville rainbows, also 220, looking awesome. Nice set pieces. I'm glad those were included. And then we got my personal favorite, the Blunderville hammers. These are stationary hammers. Until you activate them, they actually have an interaction. Once you click on them, they will start hammering away. Again, they don't affect your character when you go under them, but that would probably take a lot more coding. Really cool items. I think that there's plenty there to get started if we wanted to make our own obstacle course, and I'm sure people will go absolutely wild with their creativity with this. I can't wait to see what they come up with. Honestly, the items don't take long to get. Like I say, it didn't take more than like 4 hours to get the majority of everything that I wanted, as well as additional housing items for this video. So yeah, really wasn't too bad. I like the selection of items. I think it's a great event. And honestly, the rewards alone are worth it, but the event itself is highly entertaining. It's fun with friends. It's nice to see random people, see how they fall off. There's a spectator mode. I think they really have done it justice, and I really hope that in the second iteration of this, well, hopefully there's a second iteration first of all, but the future seasons or whatever, the new rewards that they add, they continue down the same line with even more of this silliness, because sometimes it's nice to see a game, you know, poke fun of itself and have a bit of fun. But yeah, there's some really, really cool items in this, and I hope this was helpful. Anyway, much love. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy Fall Guys, as well as the variant mode and all of the other content in this patch. And I'll see you all next time for more videos. Bye-bye.